Robert Greenwald, who has done magnificent work on Afghanistan, must have an opinion on what is unfolding in Syria. Robert Greenwald, Brave New Films. We'll talk also about the Republican super PACs in a moment, but I do want to get, Robert, good to have you with us on the program.
Thanks, Ed. Great to be with you.
We're seeing it again, are we not?
Yes, we are. I mean, we're seeing it with Syria, and we're seeing it with Iran. And we're seeing it with the right wing and the neocons saying we shouldn't leave Afghanistan. Only they're trying to temper it a little bit because clearly they don't have the public behind them, Ed. So on a sort of electoral strategy basis, they can't go around saying stay in Afghanistan, go to war in Syria, and go to war with Iran because it's idiocy of the worst kind. But it is consistent. It's consistent with their beliefs that every single problem in the world can be solved if you invade, occupy a country. That's their answer over and over and over again. And you would think after the disaster of Iraq, driven by neocons, they would be running and hiding in shame, but they're not.
Well, it's amazing to me how the Republican DNA is that they learn nothing from their mistakes. And if they didn't like what President Obama did with Egypt, didn't like what he did with Libya. He makes mistakes everywhere. He just shoots the number one terrorist in the world right in the head. Hell, they don't like that either. So this is as much political on our turf as it is anywhere else. That's how I see it. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's anything that this president could do that would satisfy them when it comes to foreign policy. The foreign policy is just a moving target for the Republicans.
Well, that's exactly right. There used to be the idea that there was some bipartisanship around foreign policy, and now there is, again, an effort by the right wing and the neocons and some of the military-industrial complex who are over and over again advocating for more weapons, more killing, trying to, this notion that we can kill ourselves, kill people as a way to greater security fundamentally makes no sense, Ed. And we need to keep bringing that up and reminding people that there are economic self-interests here of profiteers, corporations. Many of them are backing by the right wing, and they financially gain in these times. And the notion that these horrible battles with loss of lives are in any way helping or supporting our troops is truly one of the disgusting ideas of all times.
Well, I think the question to Mitt Romney would be, are you willing to send one of your 5 kids over to the Syrian soil and see what this shooting match is all about? I think that would be a fair question. Robert Greenwald, Brave New Films, with us here on the Ed Schultz Radio Show. Republican super PACs and other outside groups, they are going to put together $1 billion to try to take the White House and, of course, both the House and the Senate. The Chamber of Commerce is in on this deal. The Koch brothers. The Koch brothers, they're a bottomless pit when it comes to them wanting to win elections. What we have seen unfold since Citizens United. Put it in perspective for us, Robert.
Well, the Koch brothers in this election, you and I talked about this a few months ago, and we were astounded they were going to spend $100 or maybe $150 million. Well, Politico is reporting today that they're going to spend $400 million, just the Koch brothers, which is more than the entire campaign that John McCain spent in his turn running for president. More than the entire amount he spent. And these are just these 2 guys, and there's more coming. Because, as you said it's a bottomless pit. These are billionaires, and they are willing to spend anything in support of their greater profitability and their ideology. And, when we spent the year and a half working on the Koch brothers exposed film, Ed, we saw, and we've discussed this over and over again, they're funding think tanks, and they're funding Americans for Prosperity, and they're funding politicians, and they're funding colleges, and they're funding judges, and they're funding secret conferences, and it doesn't stop. And it's particularly important that all of us shine the light on what they're doing and fight back. And this is a direct result of Citizens United.
You think there'll be more Wisconsins?
For sure. I think that the fact that they went in there, that their agenda was served by going after the unions in a horrific fashion, will encourage them to spend more money because they gain. Again, they have economic self-interest all across the board here. And we saw that, we've seen that over and over again with the causes and their ideology and how it's the so-called libertarianism, but it's really helping them gain. You'd think if you had so many $1 billion, how many more would you need? But that doesn't seem to be a question. And it's really a fundamental attack on democratic ideals and democratic belief system that you can buy your way and you can buy your ideas through our country. And that's a tough one, and that's a really important one that we begin to organize and not begin to continue to organize and fight back.
I mean, I don't want to sound goofy, but it's almost got like a James Bond aura about it all. I mean, somebody's trying to take over the government, and they send 70 employees to Wisconsin to work on supporting Walker. Money is just falling from the sky, whatever they want to support. I mean, it's just amazing. I find it this 2012 is going to dwarf 2008.
Oh, it won't even be close. It'll be in a whole other universe. Now, the little, I don't know if this is good news or not, but at a certain point, money doesn't buy more voters. It really doesn't. Voters turn off at some point in disgust. And you can imagine what's going to go on on your television and your radio and online between now and the elections, where people will be besieged and attacked, and with over and over again ads and ads and ads of the worst and lowest kind. And it's going to be clear that the right wing is prepared to spend as much money as they think they can get benefit from, and they are looking to benefit from this. Again, that's an important distinction, that they gain financially, and that let's say that Koch's are spending $400 million. Given how much they make when the laws and the legislations to protect people are weakened or removed, that's actually an inexpensive expenditure for them.
We'll talk more about it tonight in graphic detail. Robert Greenwald, great to have you with us. Brave New Films, always does fabulous work. Thanks, Robert.
Thanks, Ed.